Good morning, friends. We are learning our subject Python for Data Science 3150713, and in that we are learning our module 1, that is overview of Python and data structure. Okay. So in the previous lecture we have seen the 3D multi-dimensional list, isn't it? And we have printed the elements also, right? List comprehension we have seen, whose output is always a list. Then we have seen the generators. A small difference between them is the generators doesn't construct the list object, as well as it does not keep whole list in the memory, right? So the memory requirement of generators is less than that of the list. That is comprehension list, okay? Comprehension. Then after we have seen the sets and sets operations, right? That is, we can say difference, than, and, or, right? All these things we have seen for sets. And one thing is, S is equal to empty braces will not create the empty set. But if we want to create the empty set, we have to have the S1 is equal to set, right? This only will create the set for us. Okay. So now, what do we want to know is concatenate two sets. Now we want to learn is concatenate two sets. For that, what we are having, let us say we are writing the function that is concat. So def concat S1 and S2. Two functions we are passing to it. Now, first of all, let us create the empty set, that is using S3 is equal to set, right? And two parentheses. Okay. As we know that S3 is equal to two empty braces will not create the set for us, but it will create the dictionary, right? So let us create the empty set. Then after, for I in S1, that is the first set one, what we are doing is S3 dot add I. So we are adding all the elements of S1 in S3. Now what we do, we iterate the S2 set for I in S2 and then S3 dot add I. So all the elements of S2 set is now added in S3. Okay. And return S3. So now if we are having S1 is equal to 1, 2, 3, S2 is equal to 4, 5, 6, and if we call our function that is concat, what we should get is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let us run and see that. It is the same code which I have shown you. Fine. So let me run this. What output we are getting? We are getting the output that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now, if we are having the repeated elements, now what will happen? I mean to say that in S1 we are having 1, 2, 3. In S2 also we are having say 2 and 3. Okay, few common elements are there in S1 and S2, and if we use our concat function, will it give us the unique elements or it will not? We should check it out, isn't it? Because when we want to concat two sets, it must also be unique, isn't it? So let us check it out. Here, these two elements, you can see that 2, 3 is common in between S1 and S2. Okay. Here, for the concatenation of two sets, we are getting the result that is 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? If the common members are there, then it will remove those repeated elements but keep only uniquely. Fine. So if it is this, we'll be getting it as 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. When we were having different elements at that time, we were able to get it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now we want to have insert, delete, update, retrieve. Insert into set. How we do that? We have used one over here in this example, that was s dot add. Okay. So s is equal to set, that is creating the empty set, as we already know. Print s, that will print, or that will give us the empty set. Then after, if we want to insert into it, we'll be having s dot add 1, s dot add 2. So it will be added, right? Set is not ordered. Okay, so insertion order is not necessarily be the same as it was. Okay, print s. Okay, so we can get the addition of elements in the set s. Okay, so let us see that. This is simple, right? Two elements only we are adding, 1 and 2. So when we have created the empty set, we are getting this, and for added elements, we can say we are getting it as 1 and 2. Now we want to update the set with, say, union of other set. So what we can do, that is s dot update, and we can say 3, 4, 5. So what will be there? That will be having the union of whatever set we have given here and whatever was s. S was what? S was 1 and 2. And now we want to update with this 3, 4, 5. So what it will do is, it will take the union of both these sets, whatever we have passed as the argument and whatever was our original set s. Right? So it takes union with other set. That is what is provided here. So we'll be getting the output as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? This is a typical example, isn't it? Typically what we used to do is, at a particular position, we used to update the data. But as set does not preserve the order of insertion, so we cannot use it as at these index we want to update it, right? So we can have the update by, you can say, having the union with other set. Okay. Now we want to delete or remove a particular element. For that, we are having the method, that is remove. So what we can do is s dot remove 4. Now is it index? No, it is not index. It is a value. Why? Because set does not maintain the insertion order. So index does not matter, because at a particular index it can be having anything, right? Insertion order is not there, right? So we cannot provide, set this position, this particular thing is there, so we should remove that index, so the value at that particular index will be removed. No, it is not so. So we have to provide the value. Okay, now as we have just printed, it is having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now if I do s dot remove, what should I get is 1, 2, 3 and 5, isn't it? And if I do s dot remove 6, is 6 available in this? No, it is not there. So what should it give? It should give us the key error. Key error 6. 6 is not available in this particular set. Okay. Now if we want to retrieve, the simple way is, we can say, if we want to print whole set, we can print it as very simple, that is print s. If we want to iterate it, we can take it as for I in s, print I. If you want to see one by one lines, and on that you want to see the output, you can print it as only print type. But if you want to have on the one line and separated with space, we can use this way, right? So if you do this, what output we are getting? First is the whole set, right? Whole set. Then after one by one elements, but separated with space. Okay, but separated with space. Now next thing what we want to learn is indexing and slicing. Okay. Indexing and slicing. Okay, now S is equal to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. For I in range len of S, print S of I. What happens? Indexing, typically we used to write it as S of I, isn't it? So for that, let us run this. Error. What's the problem? It says type error. Why? Because set object is not subscriptable, right? Set object is not subscriptable, isn't it? It is not having the subscript. Subscript it cannot be using, fine? So for this, it will give us the error. So indexing is not possible this way. So how to get indexing and slicing with sets? Indexing is not there, then slicing, how can it be? But if we want to use it, what to do? We want to use. Simple. We should convert that to list, and then after we can have indexing as well as slicing also. When the things are not possible, simply do it by indirect way. So S is equal to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. What is this? It is a set. For I in range len of S, print list S. We are converting list to, we are converting set to list, right? This is the way we can convert that. And that of I, we are doing and is equal to space, right? Now, see, first of all, we have given the set as 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So 10 comes first, okay, but it is set. So insertion order does not matter, okay. And when we convert it in the list, at that time, whatever is the order in the list, that it will preserve, right? So let me say, if I have it this way, this set is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. But when I print it, it is 40, 10, 50, 20, 30. Okay. Order doesn't matter. Then after we can say I in range of len of S. Len is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. So in range of 5. And what we do is we are converting this set to list. And then after we are taking the index I. Okay. If you want, we can do it separately also over here. That is say, what is there? ls. Set to list conversion. So here list of this S. This we can do before and then after we can use this. That also is fine. So we'll be able to have it as ls of I, right? That also is fine. Right, so we are getting the output as 4, 10, 50, 20, 30, right? Why this order is preserved? It is because it is a list. Okay, it is because it is a list. Fine. Now, slicing. As now it is a list, now you can have the slicing available. And how we can have that? It is already known to us. We have to provide the start index and end index, isn't it? So print say list of S, and with that we are providing the slicing, that is 0 colon 3. That means it will start from 0 index until index 2, it will give you the output. So 4, 10 and 50, these three elements you will get. Okay, now print list of S minus 20 to 20. Minus 20 to 20, that means it will give the whole list, isn't it? Left index is less than that of the 0, and right index is greater than the len of that list, right? So we can say here it will be providing us the full list. So 40, 10, 50, 20, 30. So whole list will be getting, okay? But above are the list, we want set, so convert the result to set. So for that we can say, whatever is the slicing we got, that is for list, so we need to convert that to set. So set of whatever we have done just before, that is list of S and slicing, that is 0 colon 3, right? Whatever we have done before, that we need to apply to set, okay? So we'll be getting the output, fine? So now here we are getting it as set. You can see the braces are there. Here, when we have converted to list and got the slices, this was list, right? Result was also list. You can see this square bracket. Now, as we wanted to have the set, we have converted them back to set. Okay. So, for any problem statement, whenever it is given to you, please read properly whether you want to have the slicing with set and want to get set. It is but obvious, if we want to get the slicing for set, then the result also should be set only, right? So nobody is going to tell you that you have to convert list back to the set. Okay. So keep that thing in your mind. Yeah, if they are saying that get the slicing of the set and the result should be list. If it is given, then you could have done till this point. It is fine. As they wanted to have the list, but that also you should read properly. If it is mentioned, then only you should go till this point, or otherwise you should convert that back to set. Okay. Now, more set operations we are interested in knowing. Indexing we have done, right? So we can say S dot is superset. What does that mean? If S is greater than or equal to T, test whether every element in T is in S. S dot union T, that means S or T, new set with elements from both S and T. Intersection, that is S and T, new set with elements common to both S and T. Difference, that is S minus T. See, this S minus T, S and T, S or T, S greater than or equal to T. No, not this, but other things we have already tried. Okay, using the symbols, that is S and T, right? This we already used. Here we are having the functions also directly available. So you can use those function names also to get the difference, union, intersection, superset, symmetric difference. We can say is disjoint, S dot copy, right? S dot copy, that is new set will be shallow copy of the S. Okay. Let us see the running program. Yeah, first of all, we are having two sets. S1 is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, set of even numbers, right? Not all, till 10 only. S2 is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, right? Now we want to do the set operations, but now we want to use the functions which are available, not directly using the ampersand or such symbols. Okay. So what we do for union, we should use the function that is S1 dot union S2. Okay. Let's see. S1 union S2. Name also is given same way. We should have the idea, right? S1 dot union S2. Let us see what should be the output. It should be 1, 2, 3, 4. Have we run this? Oh. Something was missing. Probably we haven't run this and it was taking the S1 or S2 from other value. Okay, so better check it out that whether you have run this or not. Okay, when you run this, then only these values will be there in the effect. Okay, so now we can say that union of this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10. Okay, if you want to have the intersection, that is with the help of S1 dot intersection S2. So whatever are the common values between S1 and S2, that will be getting. So it is 8246. Now intersection and update. What does that mean? Intersection result is stored in original set. See, intersection will do what? Intersection method will take the intersection of two sets and store the result in other set or other variable. But when we are having the intersection and update, that means we want to take the intersection of say S1 and S2 set and we want to update the S1. At that time, we'll be using the method that is intersection underscore update. Okay. So let me print S1 first of all, and then after we'll do the intersection update, and then after again we'll print the S1. Okay. See, anytime if you show your program, always show the original values. So people can have the idea the way they are getting changed. Okay. So print that, then after do whatever operations you do, and then after the operation what should be the value. This is the proper way to show your program. Okay, so this is the original value 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 after intersection and update. So intersection is having the parameter is having the values 8, 2, 4, 6. So that is there, that is fine, but it has modified the S1, and that's what we are getting after the intersection and update. If you want to have the difference, till now we used to have it is using S1 minus S2, but here we are using the difference method, right? So let me see that we have changed some values. If then we'll be getting different, or otherwise we'll get the same as if it is commented. So for S1 it is 8246. Okay, it is same, so we haven't changed anything. For S2 we can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Now we want to have the difference. So S1 minus S2. Okay, this difference gives us what? S1 minus S2. So from S1, whatever values are available in S2, those will remove. So 2 is there, 4 is there, 6 is there, 8 also is there. So S1 minus S2, or we can say S1 dot difference S2, that will give us the result that is empty set. Okay, it is empty set. Now, symmetric difference, that is S1 caret S2 or S1 caret S2, right? Now, what is that? S1 is printed, S2 is printed. We'll be using the function that is S1 dot symmetric difference with S2. Okay, and we'll be storing the result in S4, and after that we'll print that. Related function is S1 dot symmetric difference update, right? So it will modify the S1 with whatever is the difference, right? And we'll print all the values. So let us run this. S1 is there, S2 is there, symmetric difference is there, but it is there in S4. And when we are having symmetric difference and update, after that we'll be having that change in S1. Fine. Now we want to check for is subset, is superset, right? So for that we can say we'll be using S1 dot is subset, and what is the case, whether it is true or not, that is S1 is subset or not, that we are checking. Then we'll be having this superset. So whether it is superset or not, super. It is only text actually, but still superset, right? If you want to check for disjoint, whether these two sets are disjoint or not, false. S1 dot copy. S1 is here, then S4 is equal to S1 dot copy, then we'll print S4, then S4 dot add. After a shallow copy and add 6, what will be there in S1 and what will be there in S4? We want to check whether after copying, if we are changing to the newly created set, whether it will be changing to the original set or not. Okay, so S1, okay, print S1. Then after S4 is equal to S1 dot copy. It is a shallow copy of S. Print S4. So whatever is the copy created, now that copy we are changing, modifying. Then again we print S1 and S4. We want to check whether it is updating the original set or not, right? Original is 135, S1 and S4 both. After shallow copy and add 6. So what will be our S1? S1 is 135 only as it was originally, but S4 is getting changed, and that is 1356. So what do we mean by shallow copy? It is not copying back to the original reference, right? Now, frozen set. What is it? It is immutable set. Since frozen set is immutable, there are no methods available to alter its elements. So add, remove, update, pop, etc. functions are not defined for the frozen set. So set and frozen set, let us see. S is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I do S dot add 6 and print S, it will give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But if I am having frozen set S, that is S1 is equal to frozen set of S, after that I can print it, I can have type of it. After that I should try, isn't it? Add method. It should give me error. What else? Isn't it? So insert cell. Yeah, second. Here it should be. Yeah. So let us try for S1 dot add pi. Okay. Let us run this first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then frozen set created. Its class is frozen set. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now let us run this frozen set. dot add. Error, because frozen set object has no attribute add. We already talked of, right? I just show you it is not available for frozen set, right? Now, if you want to iterate it, it is normal like others. Set, that is for I in S1, print I and is equal to say space. If you want to have that, then we'll be getting it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Frozen set operations, except those who modifies the set, all other set operations can be applied to frozen set, right? So say S1 and S2 are frozen set, intersection, union, difference, symmetric difference, is subset, is superset, is disjoint, all the things are available as it was available for set. So let us run this. Well, intersection, union, you can see the output, that is also frozen set. Okay, intersection of two frozen set also is frozen set. Fine, that's what we are getting here. Is subset false, is superset false, is disjoint false. Okay, now next what we want to learn is dictionary. What it is? Yes, dictionary we should learn. Now, till now what we were doing is we were having the string, then tuple, then list, then set, and at every time we have seen the difference with the other one, right? So here also, as we want to learn dictionary, let us first see the difference with list, because you already know the difference with list of tuple, string, and set, right? So let us consider list and compare with dictionary, as well as we'll see how to insert or delete or update or whatsoever things are there. Okay. So let us consider the list. List is ordered. We already know that list is ordered and dictionary is unordered. Okay. Ordering is not guaranteed for dictionary. How assigned? How to assign the values? Comma separated values in square bracket is for list. That is known to us. Fine. Comma separated key colon value in braces. Okay. Key colon value, because dictionary is where we are having key and value pairs. So this way the assignment is there. It is access using index. What? List. That is list 1 of 0, list 2 of 1, that way. How the dictionary is accessed? That is using key. So we can say if we are having dictionary 1, so we can say dict 1 of name, that is in square bracket. You can provide the key name in double quotes, or if it is integer, we can provide it as 0 or 1 or whatever, right? Then when to use? List should be used when ordered collection of items is required. Where we should use the dictionary? It should be used when a set of unique keys that map to values and to use. How to print the list and how to print the dictionary? Print list 1, or we can say print list 1 and say 0 colon. That is slicing we can use or directly we can use, right? So we'll be getting the output, that is a list, whole list. Print dict 1, that's what we'll be getting. And how the output will be done? That is say name ash. nationality Indian, right? So key colon value pairs will be given as the output also, and the same way we have given as the assignment, isn't it? So how we can iterate the list? That was using for I in range len of list 1 and print list 1 of I. You can say ma'am indentation is not there. See, this is a table, okay? This is a table. In that it is difficult to maintain the space and proper indentation. So you can understand it is there, right? You can understand it is there. I have only shown the code which should be there, okay? And as it is table, it will be like this only. So understand it is there, indentation, okay? For dictionary, how we can print that? That is for I in dict1 dot keys. So first of all, we are getting keys and we are iterating them. And what we'll be doing is print I, and how we can get the value? That is using dict1 of I, right? Key will be providing here. One more way is for key comma value in dict1 dot items. One was dict1 dot keys. Now second one is dict1 dot items. If you want to get key and value pair, so that we can print it as key and whatever is the value. For indexing, lists have positive and negative list indexing. And for dictionary, keys are only used as indexes. We want to remove one from list. So what to do is list one dot remove and one. Or otherwise we could be using list one dot pop and one. So for the first one, we can say it will remove this one. That is, one will be removed, and list one dot pop one. So first index item will be removed. So let us say at that position we are having 2, so 2 will be deleted, right? Why are we saying that? Because here we are considering this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so for that we are considering remove 1, that means the value, but pop 1, that is the item at index 1. Okay. Name and its value is removed from the dictionary. 1, if we want to do, we just have to do del dict1 of name. So it will remove that. Or otherwise we could have done dict1 dot pop and name. Okay, see the difference here. This is square bracket inside that, single quote name, whereas for this pop it is there inside the parenthesis, because pop is function, and here del dict1, there you are providing say index, that is the key. Okay, so here it is having square bracket, here it is having the parenthesis. Now list1 dot sort, if we want to sort the list, we can be using list1 dot sort. For sorting the keys, we can say we can use it as sorted of dict1 dot keys, right? If we want to sort the values, we can say we can be having sorted dict1 dot values. So we can sort the dictionary as keys or otherwise as values, right? Now, for dictionary, we can say it is unordered set of key colon value pairs with the requirement that the keys are unique and immutable. Okay. When it is immutable, we can say the keys can be the tuples, isn't it? Because they are immutable. Keys and values are the methods to extract keys and values of the dictionary object. Key colon value pairs are in braces, right? So let us see the example. That is, dictionary 1 is equal to in braces name colon desk colon associate prof work colon CKPCET, right? Key and value pairs. Here key is string, so we have written that inside the single quote or double quote you can use, fine. And when you print the dictionary, we'll be getting it as same way we were having, right? We'll see the output, we can have the idea. Then after we are using the index, that is dict1 of name, right? In square bracket, dict1 dot keys, dict1 dot values. So what we are getting, let us run and see. So it will make our life simple. This is dictionary, right? We have printed that, print dict1. So it is giving us dict colon. Name is AMI, designation as associate professor, and institute is equal to CKPCT, right? There we have used this name. Instead of designation, it was written as DES. For institute, it was work, right? In that, it is same, okay? Okay. So here, when we are running, we are getting the dict colon key and value pairs. Now, other things, that is dict1 of name, then its keys, its values. For keys, it returns dict underscore keys, name, designation, and institute. And for values, it is having dict underscore values, Abhay, associate prof, and CKPCT. Okay. Now we can say empty creation of dictionary. Okay, empty creation of dictionary. So how we can do that? That is using dict1 is equal to 2 empty braces. This we know since long. We have started dictionary just now. So how can you say that we have learned this? Recall when we were creating the empty set and we have tried to put 2 empty braces, the type of that was dictionary, right? And that's why we have said that if we want to create the empty set, we have to use it as set and to parenthesis, right? So at that time we have seen how to create the empty dictionary. So this is the way, then we can print it and we can have the type of it, right? So this is the empty dictionary printed and this is the type of it. Okay. So what are the basic operations for dictionary? Dictionaries are mutable. Add new key value, change pairing, delete key, that is possible. Dictionary is orderless. So indexing and slicing are not possible for it. Let us see the basic operations on the dictionary like len, keys, values, then get, then in operator, right? This is what we want to know. Let us see here. Okay. Basic operation. Let us assign the dictionary. Okay. There is name is me, designation is associate prof, and institute is CKPCT, name is Abhay, right? Say, nahi. Name is Ami, we have already given. Now at last I am giving it as name is Abhay. I already told you that you can have dictionary with unique key values, isn't it? So why should I specify like this? Will it give me error or some change will be there? Let's see. Let's see. Run this. I have given name is Ami first, and at last I have given name is Abhay. Okay. Let me run. Now I should check it out now. What it gives me for dict1. Designation associate prof. Institute is CKPCT and name is Abhay. Name first was assigned Ami. Here, the key was name and the value was Ami. But at last we have given the name as Abhay. So it has replaced the value for the key that is name. Okay, and that's why we are getting here name as Abhay. Okay. Now, if you want to find the length, so we can use the len of dict1. The number of keys you can say are there, those many length will be there. If we want to print the keys, we have already seen dict1 dot keys function. For values, we can use the dict1 dot values function. So we'll be getting the values. Let us get the key using, let us get the value using the key, that is using the get method. Now what is that? The method get returns a value for the given key. But if the key is not available, default is none. So what should we do? We can specify dict1 dot get key comma default is equal to none. If we want to give the default as none, then we can give it as this one. If we want to give it as any other default value, we could be giving it as key and default is equal to that value. So let us check it out. Say print name in dict1. We want to check it out whether it is available or not. Fine. So okay, it is available. Now print name key. So dict1 dot get name NAM. Is it available? Here it was NAME, right? Let us check it out. Run this. Name in dict1. Yes, it is there. Okay. Now print nam key dict1 dot get NAM. We are having the key available, that is NAME and not NAM. So it is giving us the output that is none. Okay. Now key available at key available for nam only. But what we want, that if nam is not available, then by default give the value as ruchi. So that we can specify this way. Fine. So as this is not available, first we got none, right? But now we are getting it as key available and ruchi. Though the key is not available, what we have done is, here see key is actually not available, but we have returned. Okay. Say, let me remove that. Otherwise you will get confused. Key name is not available, but we have specified that if it is not available in our dictionary, then give the default output as ruchi, right? So that's what we are getting as ruchi. Fine. And we can say print dict1. So whatever is our dictionary, whole dictionary we want to print. Fine. So here the key, actually the value we wanted to get, right? Or whatever key we are specifying. So key value we can say key value. Okay, for nam key we want to get the value. It is not available in the dictionary, but as we have used it, we have specified that if it is not available, then by default give the value as ruchi. So that's what it is giving, and then after it is printing whole dictionary. Now key is not available, so we have specified it as this way, right? We could have given it as name. We could have given, see in this, here, as we have used this, that if key is not available, will give it as ruchi, but it's not always the case. You could have given it as none. By default, if it is not there, it will return none, but here, right? You may want to give the return value as none. That may be there, right? So first of all, it is none. This way as we have used, and we can give it as any other value also, that is ruchi, right? We can do as we want, depends on your application. Now what? Key is available. What is there in our dictionary? That is name is Abhay, right? It is available. But what I want is, What I want is key not available. I want to give it as Ruchi. If I run this, first of all, let me put it in the comment because I have deleted that. Then I can show you. Otherwise, you will not be able to see the output. Fine. Okay. Now, first of all, what we are doing is if key is not available, then give the value as Ruchi. Okay. But we are already having the value, so it will return whatever value is there. Then after we are changing the dictionary one of name. We are changing the value. We are updating the value of name, key. And we are giving it as say chum chum. If we print that, we'll be getting the updated value. Now what we are doing is we are deleting this dict one. Not whole dictionary. I'm saying that we are deleting the key that is name from the dictionary. So what we do is del dict one of name, right? After that, we'll print the dict one also. And then after we'll try for dict one of name. As we already deleted, we should be getting the error. But let us first run this and let me put this in other cell. So you can try that way. So error will be there only for the last one, okay? And other things you can always run. So let me run this code. This. By default, we should give the value as Ruchi if key is not available. But as the key name is available and it is having the value that is Abhay. What happened? Oh God. What happened? Here the name is Abhay, but still it is giving us Ruchi. Oh. So what? Till now what we understood is if this key is not available, what we understood is if the key is not available, we should give the value as Ruchi. Fine. If the key is available, then the real value should be given? No. We should be giving the value whatever is being set here. Right? Okay. So this I have written specifically to show you as we understood this way that when we are having dict1.get name, that is Nam and Ruchi, we understood that it should give Ruchi when the key is not available. But now, what is the case? That key is available. So actually the value is Abhay. But the way we have said is by default it will give us the value as Ruchi. Okay?
नहीं घटे अंदर बहुत है जो तो यार
Got it? So the way we were having this one is not that. Here it will give us the value that is whatever we have set by default. Okay? Whatever we set by default. When we change it, we'll be able to get it as chum chum. But when we delete it, after that if we print that key is not available, and now if we get this, that is print dict1 of name, it will give us the error that is the name. Key error, okay? That's all for today.